thrill me.
This show is part of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Experience more on Facebook and YouTube.
Core memory unlocked.
Horror.
15 years ago, I was told there was nothing left.
Better hurry up. Live or die. Make your choice.
A ver, hijo de la chingada, deja de estar viendo memes, pendejo.
¡A la verga, me vale verga, perro! ¡Y cállate a la verga, cállate!
That's a way to come into the show. The first ever Core Memory Unlocked.
Horror. Oh my god, dude. Let me tell you. I was so excited about that end part because I was like, oh, it's going to be in Spanish. No problem whatsoever. Wait till we get a copyright strike. It'll be great.
Something about Spanish just hits.
It's differently. Welcome to Core Memory Unlocked Horror. I'm Zach. That's wonderful. Don't do the thing.
I went, hey, hi.
Welcome to our Friday the 13th special. Follow us, ThrowMePodNet, Hunters Pod on Instagram. We have an exciting episode for you because we put it out to the world of Instagram to vote, and there were choices. And I think I kind of want to talk about that first before we dive into this. The choices were Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th Part 4, Friday the 13th Part 6 because I'm a sucker, and I think Jason X, I think. It was either Jason X or Freddy vs. Jason. And for the longest time, it was a tie until literally the last hour of the poll. And then fucking Part 4 won. And I'm excited about talking about it because for me, Part 4, I don't know about you, I didn't catch it late, but it was definitely the Friday the 13th franchise for me. I watched them all in different order. It was almost like a Evil Dead situation for me with the Friday the 13th series.
What, I saw Jason X backwards?
Yes, exactly. On a record, like a laser disc. I put a laser disc on, and it was like Pamela. No, but I mean, my first Friday the 13th was Part 2. Then I think my second one was Part 7, which why I think that holds a special place in my heart. Then 6, then 4, then 5. And then 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a weird. And then, this is the core memory. The reason why it was like that is because I watched these originally on the USA Network when they did Friday the 13th gimmicks.
See, that was for me as well, is my viewing of this franchise. I cannot tell you where I began and all of that. I can tell you that I know I watched the first one well past seeing Jason at this point.
Right.
The lore had already been established on things. I had already seen, I know.
The NES game was about.
Oh, God, yeah. I played the NES game, all of that stuff. I remember how we had a pin in our car for when Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, wow.
One of those, because, promotional pin from the movie theater. The old United Artists movie theater back in the day. They used to have promotional pins for these Friday the 13th films, especially when Jason was going to hell, the final one.
Supposedly.
Yeah,
allegedly. God, can that be a title for a horror movie when it's like Saw 12, the final game? Allegedly. That's a good spoof title.
I like
a good
that.
spoof title.
That's the next scary movie. Scary Movie 7.
100%.
The last one, allegedly.
Allegedly.
The Wayans brothers are back, allegedly.
Oh my God, they should come back. Holy shit. I'm sorry, we're going off topic, but could you imagine Scary Movie rebooted like the Halloween series and the Wayans came back that did it?
Oh my God. That actually, Wayans brothers,
That works.
we know you're listening. What
That
are you
works.
doing? You doing stand-up and all that? You know, like, come on. You got that Netflix and stuff, Marlon. Come on, make it happen.
Man, screw
Too?
what the Wayans are doing. Hey, New Line, what are you doing? Or Dimension, Miramax, what are you doing?
Well, circling back to those movie making companies that made a lot of our favorite horror movies that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For the Core Memory Unlocked Horror. Circle back to this one though. To part 4. I cannot remember when I saw it, but I know that I always dug this one. There's something about like part 3, 4, 6, and 10 that just feel like the most like, yeah, this is kind of what I know Friday the 13th for. Like,
Right.
horny teenagers go to have horny sex, do drugs and get hornier, and Jason just kills them.
Yeah.
And you know, part 1 I like. Maybe we'll talk about it. I'll see thoughts on those. But like, talk about part 4. I always remember liking this one, but I just don't know.
I think the original one, I had it like you, where it wasn't the first one I've seen, so I've already established a love for Jason.
Yeah.
So to go through a even more so Jason-less movie than part 5, I think that's kind of the hiccup for it. Plus the weird ending, and it's like, okay, so is he a boy, and how long did this second? A lot of questions, but we're here to talk.
Maybe we should get some lawsuits going on.
Victor,
who owns the boy version? Who owns the grown-up version? Who created it? Welcome to Core Memory Unlocked Horror.
You ain't lying. All right, so in case if you have not seen part 4, we'll at least give you a little taste by playing the trailer right now. Hopefully I hear it. Let's see. Oh, I can. Cool. Playing the song, the hit.
I wonder what film this is.
Why the? Oh, we really are just coming in. Okay. Like it's not a trailer.
3 times before, you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror. But this is the one you've been screaming for.
It's scary.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
Allegedly.
Jason is back. He moves like a shadow, dark and silent.
Sorry you changed your mind?
He never utters a word. He doesn't even seem to breathe.
Where the hell's the corkscrew?
He simply, mindlessly, mercilessly kills. But now, Jason's reign of terror is over. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Friday, April 13th, is Jason's unlucky day.
Nice. Okay. On the real, maybe one of the best trailers I've watched. Like, for a old school horror movie.
I mean, it that was good. That sold me. Like, that would sell me if I was sitting there in the theater. I'd be like, ooh, I'm curious, like, how this one gets
because
it.
you can't go off of you can't go off of like, oh yeah, it's the final one, even though I know 20 more are coming.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, if they're selling it as the final one, that was a very good job of being like, this is it. even the slogan at the end with the Jason's unlucky day, kind of perfect.
Yeah, it is. If you would have ended the franchise right there, but money
don't.
talks.
And he goes to space.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that one.
It'll happen.
I've already
That'll be an
watched it this
unlock.
Halloween season, so.
Oh, yes, I saw the picture.
Oh,
All
God.
right, so we'll get into the movie now. So the movie does open where part 3 ends. Like, we get this helicopter shot, we get the ambulance, and with that, they're going to a morgue with Jason. And what I kind of find interesting about that scene, I don't know if you got this feel, but for some reason, every time I watch it, all I can think is Halloween 2.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Because it feels like a setup to that with the nurse and the it's a mortician as opposed to the doctor, but like that whole kind of setup with the hot tub sequence where Michael can burn her face off but can't burn his hand.
Well, hey, he lived from a fire. He was set on fire. He can handle heat.
That's true. After the audience didn't understand the genius of
Shut up, Ted.
I'm just saying, man, if everybody just watch Season of the Witch. But yes, you're right, it did have yeah, that's why Michael Keaton.
The return of Michael Myers. We swear.
The final version, we swear, of Jason.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that was kind of a Halloween 2 setup. But at this point, though, a lot of it, I feel like a lot of these slashers start pulling from each other. Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. So also in the credits, I saw Tom Savini being the makeup guy. And I was like, awesome, because I know he did the first one, if I'm right. I think Tom Savini did the first one. Maybe. But I know it's cool. But yeah, it's cool with him because it explains why the film is so like hard on to showcase that Corey is gore, and that Corey creates mask, and Corey does all of this stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, hey, look at Tom Savini's cool designs.
Okay. God damn it. And I should have known that, honestly. Yeah, so Tom Savini did special makeup for Friday the 13th. And this is his return.
Yeah.
So he did the first one and fourth one.
That explains why we get a weird scene that we'll talk about a little bit later on.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. So, the whole morgue guy who loves watching Jazzercise. And a girl there. Girls. Oh my God, the way he just looked at the TV and was like, oh, girls. You have a living flesh person next to you, and then he turns on the TV while trying to get down.
I mean, haven't we all been there before?
No, wonderful. I have not.
You never turned on Jazzercise? Wow.
No wonder it's your favorite one. I just imagine you now have a VHS tape of this movie, but it's just of that scene. So it's a video of a video.
Hey, Brooke, you ready? God. Click.
My other question for you, is this even Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same thing. Is this another, we got a Saturday the 14th film? Because if this film picks up right after the events of the previous film, where they're literally cleaning up his dead body from a Friday the 13th attack.
Right.
This ain't Friday the 13th when he goes back to Crystal Lake and he starts tearing up the Jarvis house.
Right. And then on top of that, you go from 2 to 3, which, Baghead dies or escapes.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, we're getting the newsreels that Jason is alive. So I'm very confused of the timeline. Is this even Saturday the 14th? Is this Sunday the 15th?
It might be Sunday the 15th, actually, at this point, because I think you're right? Part two is a Friday the 13th. Then we pick up...
That takes place in Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And then 3 takes place in another Crystal Lake?
Another area. Where's 3 take place again? So 2 was Packanack, right?
Packanack. Yes.
It's funny. I'm trying to remember the map.
We're confusing ourselves. But like 4 is obviously a direct pickup, which that's why I'm okay with this story telling of, oh, there's teens just renting a house. There's neighbors of a family. Yeah. We escaped the camp counselor style of things, and we're moving on to just hangouts and they don't want to watch the kids. Fuck the kids. I don't need this guy to paint a fence and then die painting a fence.
No, this is a horny film, dude. This is a film where literally, kind of like the first one, they took the concept, they just moved it from horny camp counselors opening a lake to just a horny group of friends that want to get laid, to where we're going to get introduced to 2 characters later on that are just so horny that they're like, hey, we don't know who you are, but we're going to come to your place because we want to.
Okay, yeah, let's talk these kids. Let's get into the kids, because we don't need to go beat for beat of the plot, but the kids, it's all concerned.
Jason killed the people at the morgue. He's escaped. Kids are now.
Yeah, he's gone. So now we have a guy who has a girlfriend.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly a girlfriend. Actually, there's 2 separate couples, and then there's 2 guys that one's doing a computer thing, being like, "You're a dead fuck."
Yeah.
Which, hey, how you got that thing running in the car in the 80s? I don't even want to talk about. But the other is Crispin Glover of Back to the Future fame.
McFly?
Yeah, George McFly's in this. He's in this movie, and what's exciting about him, which you always hear about, is that he's such a character, and I feel like you get glimpses of that later on in this with the dance scene where he's doing his bit.
He is the most defined character of the movie.
He really is. I mean, outside of, I guess Tommy's not. Yeah. I guess Tommy's not.
No, Tommy's very one-dimensional. He's just, I'm into weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and everybody is, like, Crispin, just because he's doing his own thing, becomes the most, like, complete character. Right. And it's because of things like the dance, where we're like, oh, okay, he's awkward. He's this, he's that. But is he going to get lucky?
Right. And I do feel sympathetic for that character.
Yeah, I do.
Through a lot of it. And like you said, when they're all walking about, there's 2 twins. The twins! They show up, and they're just trying to fuck any of them. Like, at one point, I swear to God, I would have just seen, like, that mask, been like, oh, you're being so cute. Shut up, teddy bear. I'm telling you.
For real, like they pop up, and their sole purpose is just they want to get banged. They want any guy they can get. That's why I say allegedly we have couples going to this thing, because honestly, only one guy in that place pays them no attention at any point. Like, doesn't dance with them, doesn't do any of that. The other guy goes off and dances with the one, which causes
that was weird.
Like, but he supposedly is there with the girl. Like, oh my God, there's so much drama amongst these kids.
Yeah, but he does eventually just leave trying to look for her.
Yeah, eventually.
But we do need
it was wrong.
But we need to talk about that death, because that death always it gets me, because one, she's going alone and gets naked, completely naked, to go swimming, expecting her boyfriend to come out there, but she swims to a boat just floating in the lake.
I mean, again, haven't we all been there before? Late at night, skinny dipping, see a boat out in the middle of nowhere, and decide I'm going to skinny dip to that.
I'm going to skinny dip to it, which, by the way, she has my favorite death face of all time, which is, like, what the fuck was that?
I mean, she got stabbed through this floaty device. So,
Did you not take 2 takes? Did you say we did 1 and got it?
Friday the 13th film, man. They had to get this thing out within like 6 months, all right? They were like, listen, film, cut, print, rare.
Right. So we talked about Crispin, but you said you wanted to bring up Teddy. What about Teddy just rocked your world?
Teddy has always irked me, but every time I rewatch this film, Teddy pisses me off more and more. Being Crispin's friend, but also I think is a huge reason as to why we feel sympathetic, because the moment we meet Teddy, he's just like the worst of. I think he's one of the worst Friday the 13th characters we get in the entire franchise.
Oh wow, that's a hard pull.
It is. Like, he's worse than Chad in Jared.
Not my Chad.
No,
not my Chad.
Not the Chad. Chad in the reboot. Like, he's worse than that character.
Really? You think Chad's not as bad as Teddy?
No, I don't. Because Teddy, to me, is like the worst possible friend. In where Teddy just puts down his buddy. Teddy tells him he's a dead. Teddy tells him that no girl wants to sleep with him. Teddy just gives him shit. Teddy is such a weird. Teddy is also being creepy with the women. He's just a horrible character. And I'm pissed he survives as long as he does every time in the film.
The only thing Chad does good in the reboot is say you have stupendous tits. Like, that's the only thing he does good.
There's nothing out of Teddy now that even is remotely funny. Like,
just stupendous.
Yeah. Like, I can chuckle at that and go, oh, haven't we all been there before where we see
You don't chuckle at dead fuck?
No. I go,
wow.
Why?
What say you, Commodore, viewer, listener? Who was more of a dick, Chad or Teddy? In the comments, you can either do whatever you got to do. You can even say stupendous or dead fuck. You let us know. You are a stupendously dead fuck.
I don't know. Teddy he just irks me. He's just one of the most annoying characters to me.
I think his most annoying quality is that he is trying too hard, but in the end, he gets his. He ultimately is alone watching dumb movies until Jason stabs him in the back of the head.
Yeah, because he's trying to lick the fucking screen or whatever. Because he's like, oh, hey, fat piggy chick in this old 1920s stag film I found.
Right.
You want me to lick your boobie? And then Jason's like, yeah, just die. And I'm just like, yeah.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Should have been fucking 3 people.
Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I need to watch it with different eyes because I do think he's annoying. I do think he's a dick.
Yeah.
I don't look at him as, for me, Chad level bad. Chad literally wanted a guy to move so he could pay for his groceries. Fuck your dead sister, man.
Okay, but here's another thing.
I don't have a girlfriend allegedly. I don't have a girlfriend allegedly. I have a girlfriend, and then I'm going to bang this other broad while she's knocking on the door. And he's like, get the fuck away from me.
Listen, here's another reason why I think Teddy's worse. Teddy was, I guarantee you, written in a sense of, oh man, people are going to really like this character.
They're going to clamor.
They're going to clamor for him. And he just sucks. Where Chad is written to suck. And does it well. He's the heel of the film. He draws the heat, 100%. Baby. He's the Miz. It's Miz TV. It's Chad TV. I'm there for Chad TV, and I know what Chad's gonna get at the end. I'm here for that.
That's hilarious. That's really good.
Any TV, man.
That's really good. That's really good. Plus, you can see Chad in 2 films because he is in the Transformers movies as Chad. All right, so back to this. The Jarvises.
Yeah,
I agree with you earlier. They're not fleshed out. They're just a mom, sister, and son. And the son's kind of, it's Corey Feldman. It's Corey Feldman. And Corey Feldman at this time, this is like the start of his heat, man. He's about to become a big old superstar from this point on, which I give him credit for coming back for part 5. Like, good on you for being like, I'll cameo for $1 million, whatever. But
I got
like you
Joel
said,
Schumacher calling me. There's this film called The Lost Boys they want me to do. You're gonna have to
Steven Spielberg's getting me with Data. You know, I got a lot of things going on.
Things happening here. I go to Oregon to film this movie. All right.
Yeah. I gotta go do License to Drive. Okay, pal. So they are definitely not fleshed out well. Like, I don't feel anything when the mom dies. I do feel something. The mom does die, right?
Yeah, she dies.
Yeah. She dies. Sister's the one who's at the end with him. Yeah. But I definitely feel for Tommy as a character. I know you were saying he wasn't fleshed out, but I do feel this. It was they almost Corey Cunningham'd him through this series. Like, we almost got Corey Cunningham.
Oh man, could you imagine if they quarried him before we got quarried?
Before we got quarried, would the world feel so bad? Like, I give credit for them actually going through with the character to do it when not only Halloween did it with Danielle Harris and still messed it up.
Yeah, they did.
So I mean, like, this is that archetype has been around for a while, and it's always pushed it aside. And Halloween Ends was like, "Fuck you, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it in the same film, baby."
Yeah, they always panic, and that's why I give Halloween Ends credit, because I was like,
"Yeah, man,
finally did it, man. We finally saw what it could have been."
Like, we got a thing.
Fuck yeah, go do The Exorcist. I'm on board. Fine. I don't care. Like, you went for it. I can't wait to find out that Linda Blair is actually the demon the whole time.
Bro, spoilers.
That's not what happened.
Okay. Oh, well, I knew you saw it. I like that I plugged my cans.
Sorry. I mean, like, in the sense of if they're going to Corey Cunningham. Right. Find out, like, at the end, like,
it was there the whole time.
None of that happens in that film, dude.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm not going to spoil that film for you.
So the Jason's going after the Jarvises. He's killed the teenagers from the house. Like, nobody survives that.
No.
It's only the Jarvises that are going to survive. The two Jarvises.
Because they ran to the house next door. Trust me, you got to run back and forth on the fucking Jason when you're playing the Jarvis.
Right. Oh yeah, I played this game. I know how this works.
Because technically they did. They actually went to the house. She went to the house with the dude man that was punching Jason. One of the first.
Oh yeah!
By the way, that's one of the first times we got that trope in this franchise, because that comes up a few other times after this, where somebody is hunting Jason because of what Jason did. Which, again, another reason why the Jared one is so good.
Well, see, what's funny is I don't remember where I read it. I knew it back in the day. I mean, that movie's already almost like, 13, 14 years old now. I feel like I read somewhere that because he lives, doesn't he?
Who?
The guy looking for Jason, or does he die?
No, he
does die.
He dies when they go they go next door to search to see if anybody is alive next door, and when they come across everybody, for whatever reason, she goes down into the basement.
Yeah, it's the basement because there's a machete. Yeah.
And he's like, and they're going up the stairs, and she gets like all caught, and he's like, "Oh, I got to go grab the knife," and goes back into the basement.
Right.
And then Jason just pops up out of nowhere. He just was watching them in the basement.
He was just watching. He loved it. He was watching.
Waiting. And then he was like, "Oh, okay, now I'll go kill the guy." And that's where we get the classic, "He's killing me.
He's killing me. He's killing me." You're absolutely right. God damn it.
He's killing me. Right.
But I swear to God, I read somewhere that Jared Padalecki's character was supposed to be him.
Oh, well, I mean, in a way, that's partly
it's the same idea.
Yeah, because you made me because I didn't like that reboot, and you made me rewatch it, and when I did, having at that point then consistently watched all of them in order at that point, because I no longer was like, I'm just watching whatever's on USA Network and TNA for Friday the 13th.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm gonna
Remember
watch
when you
Jason
said
Dixon
TNA and not TNT?
Yeah. No, it was on TNA as well.
What's on your mind?
Spike TV, the Spike TV before it was Spike TV, TNA.
Oh my God. I'm trying to
Monday
look
Night
up.
Raw used to be there for a while.
Oh my God, dude, check this shit out. I'm playing
Yeah.
it. Fucking, we're doing it. I hope you're
What
ready.
are we doing? What's happening? What did I just
I'll
do?
show you. You fucking just warmed my heart. That's what you just did.
I just do. What did
You
I
just warmed my heart. Shut up. So, just in case, because I do feel like part of this show is that we get a lot of things in our life. And you know what? I'm willing to do this. Usually I don't do this, but I need everybody to see this. I need everybody. Everybody to fucking see this. I hope you're ready.
I'm not.
All right. You should be. You should be.
What is happening? What is going on?
What is happening?
What is happening?
This is what me and Wonderful are talking
Next,
about.
our USA Network special continues.
Yes.
Friday the 13th, Part 2.
When full moon through evenings,
Like, these are the promos that we kept seeing.
with young and able counselors slain, there's just one boy that
Not
will
a sec.
remain. His name is Jason, and these are his days. It's Friday the 13th on USA. Just pray that Jason's not after you as we begin Friday the 13th, Part 2, next on USA.
Like,
Yeah. I think he's back.
buddy, core memory unlocked.
I need dinner and a movie now on CBS.
Oh my God, dinner and a movie was my jam.
I used to love
That was my
dinner and a
Jimmy
movie.
jam.
I always wanted the damn food that they fucking made.
Yeah. Oh man, I love the dude with glasses. He was great.
Yeah, that was actually it's core memory unlocked horror, but fuck
Yeah,
it. Fuck this
do
shit. Dinner and a movie was the first time that I ever saw Overboard.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I watched it on
Wow.
I watched it
What
on
a pull.
Dinner and a Movie. I
Yeah.
always remember that because I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah. I think that's where a lot of my comedy-based 80s probably lived. The secret of my success was definitely on that fucking show.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Watching those shows, and it's why I love Joe Bob Briggs because fucking when he did the
Same
monster
kind of
movie
stuff.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's hosting the spooky fucking. We
Yeah.
get to see Frankenstein. I'm watching Frankenstein, and then I got HBO, and I was like, what's this movie that has tits? Whoa! Look at that chick. She's got a wiener, and the film just froze frame at the end. What's this called? Something away sleeping camp? Whoa! I've never seen that before.
Oh my God. And I'm definitely feelings about this now.
I need to rewatch this movie a lot.
A lot.
Why
We're
is
going
the hot
places.
chick got a wang?
So,
So,
Jason,
Jason.
one of the best kills
He's got a
I
wang.
feel for Jason, because you get the machete to the face, which I absolutely love that the video game used that as
Yes.
the death. So through the side of the head, falls to his knees, and the machete slides through his head. One of the best things I've seen. Hug the sister, and then Corey Tommy Jarvis sees his fingers moving, and he's
Corey
like,
Tommy Jarvis.
die, die, die. And he just handles Jason. End of the movie, sister comes, sees him. He's got this shaved head still or whatever.
Yeah, because he made himself look like baby drowning,
baby drowning
child.
Jason.
Yeah, drowning Jason.
So when they hug, he like opens his eyes pretty fucking big. That's the end of the movie. And we go into like part 5 thinking, oh man, is he Jason now? Even part 5, and we'll get there. We'll talk more about it. But like even part 5, we're working towards Tommy Jarvis doing this. And the reason why I'm asking you, would you be down with a franchise right now would just come in with a true part 6, Tommy Jarvis as Jason?
I don't think so at this point because in my head, I think if you're going to reboot this franchise, this is going to be crazy right here. If you reboot this franchise, you get rid of the first film. You
Yes.
don't reboot it from the first film. You can keep
true
that
reboot.
lore, but there is no reason to do that. You just go from the point of one of the Jason films on.
I would.
In a way,
I would
you
treat
consider
it
like part 3 as part 1.
right. I
or
would
something
just
like
treat it as there's this legend of Jason Voorhees,
Yeah,
and that's where you go from.
yeah. I don't need the. It's
Mom being the killer.
Mom got killed there. That's fine. I don't
It's
mind if that's
Batman
there, but
syndrome.
Yeah,
It's Batman
Yeah.
syndrome.
Yeah,
I don't
but
need to see the parents die.
Yeah, I just need the story of Jason from that point on.
Right.
So that's kind of where I think you reboot it. But I don't like the idea of Tommy, who in a way has become like, the Cindy of this franchise, or the Nancy.
he does become the hero at the end.
Yeah, he to me is the hero. I don't mind the idea of mixing and blurring the lines of, are we going to Corey Cunningham him? Is he going to fully Corey?
Right.
But I would want him at the end to not go full Corey.
Right.
And kind of remain true to Tommy.
Yeah. And with that, recent films like Never Hike Alone and Never Hike Alone 2, they do have Tommy Jarvis in those films.
Yes.
So there has been a kind of sequel in a world where we live that we can't make fucking movies work because business. Fans have gone out of this franchise to make their own that come off pretty goddamn well. So I'm good if we don't get a Tommy Jarvis villain sequel, but I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind if the reboot was 3 movies with Tommy, same kind of deal. Like he stopped Jason in the first one. The second one is him trying to deal with his psychosis, and by the end of it, like the trauma has made him Jason. Like even in the second movie with all the kills, he's the killer. But he never knew because that personality would snap him.
Yeah, he actually was Roy.
Right.
I will go with that if we inevitably get the crossover that is Tommy v. Corey.
I get what you're saying. Both can talk.
Both
can have lines.
Yes. Both
There's
can,
no reason why we're quiet.
With,
Allison's on the back.
Yeah. Actually,
I
wasn't Allison the survivor of the first Friday the 13th?
I'm just saying.
And
Allison's in Halloween. What would you say as this movie? Is this still a holdup? If someone new to horror and wanted to get into 80s horror, is this worth checking out?
Yeah, this is one of the Friday the 13th films. Honestly, Friday the 13th really to me doesn't have many clunkers, or many, I don't even want to say clunkers, but many that kind of to me are a little more like, until we get closer to the back end, and then it all writes itself when we go to space. But yeah, like 7, 8, 9 to an extent are kind of like where I'm like, 5. I'm like, But for this one,
you have to be a fan of the franchise to love those. I would never go to someone and be like, "Oh, you should check out Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood."
Yeah,
because I think it's a stellar film. No, I like that for my own things. But Friday the 13th, because it is the original Part 2, Part 4, Part 6. I do think all these in line are good movies. 2009. I think those are all great stepping points if you want to get into it.
Yeah, agreed. I think those are the ones. So this one falls into one of the better films that you definitely. And plus with this one, it really is a good, like, hey, if you just kind of want to start like a little mini trilogy,
right?
They explain everything to you. What happened in the last film? What happened in the past? At that point, like,
right
here you go. Now watch 4, 5, and 6. You get yourself a little mini trilogy of films, and then stop.
Exactly.
Don't watch 7 or 8.
Yeah, you could stop there, and that's the end of it. Especially, it's a heartbreaker, ladies and gentlemen. But could end up on Core Memory Unlocked Horror. I'd like to thank Wonderful for coming on.
I'd like to thank you for having me and letting me be the co-host for this. I love talking about everybody.
I do. And since Haunters Podcast right now is celebrating their Spooktacular, which is us, today we had WBRO Spooky Edition drop earlier, so you should go check that out. Haunters Podcast went live if you're not checking this out during the time of Spooktacular, so make sure you check out that amazing episode because we are 5 years old now, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, I know, right? And
we can start going through haunted houses.
I do. I go to all the houses. I've taken my kid twice.
I know that was the joke. Is the show?
He's going to take your spot, baby.
Kids. I know. Crap. Oh my god.
That's my god. Haunters, the next generation is going to be a great show. Fucking eventually in 10 years, I'm going to have a show called Hilton, and it's just going to be me.
I'll get the cameo in like episode.
Yeah, you'll be on episode 7 or 8. It's cool. I'll get you in, bud. I'll get you in.
I get my episode where it's like we wonder where that character is all these years later, and we find out that like I've made a lot of growth. I no longer cuck Mickey or any of that. Like
you just look at me and you go, dead fuck. Awesome. That was Core Memory Unlocked Horror, and I guess the only thing I could say is boo.
Spooky go.